Hello, money makers, and today I'll be talking about why the Pokemon market being down is not at all a time to be buying Pokemon cards. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so first is that just because the market is going down will be going down does not mean that it can't go down even further. So you can actually look here, but so this card, this Charizard EX, has started going up since in the past month, since even if you look at 3 months, I guess since around like November, I guess, it started going up. That was around the time of the holidays where Christmas was right around the corner. Now, this would make sense as supply and demand is that like with supply and demand, there's not as much supply, but people have more money to spend, which means that cards can go for more as people are willing to pay more for cards. Now we have the holidays are now all start again in October, and the summer is not till June. So the time when kids actually there's like a 6 month gap from January to June, where in the summer also kids actually have money and can actually can actually spend money since parents are willing to do a lot of shopping, but there's still 6 month gap. And typically you can see that in the Pokemon market, it does terrible in May. And that it starts like here, it started to go down in January of 2023. And it wasn't really until October when it started going up. Now, you might think that this card is the only card, but no. This card also tells a similar story. So here you can see that in November it started going up. Now, if you look at a year, and really, again, in the same story, you still see a downward from January. You still see it going down from January, and then it really hit an all-time low, or it started to resurface again. And this, I guess this card, though, I remember it was not. It was like it started rapidly declining in popularity. But even so, you see it's low in November. It's then going back up, but again, with the markets driven by the supply and demand, there's bound to be a bunch of patterns, and this is definitely going to include times when, like, the summer is going to be where Pokemon cards are probably going to be worth more, as I've stated before, and same with the holidays. But aside from that, when kids are just making their money off their allowance, they're not going to have as much to spend, and therefore it's not the time to buy, as a card now going for around $100 in April and May could easily be going for around $80. It could go up in June, but then after the summer's over, and from August to October, it could still be going down. And another analogy is that if you bought a card in January for $80, you immediately got it and sent it to get it graded, which would be around 2 months, so maybe in April. And then right in April, you immediately sold it. Let's say you made double your profit, so you bought it for $100 in January, sold it in April for $200. This somebody who bought it, let's say, 2 months later in April, or in March, would maybe get it for $80. And then let's say they did the same thing as you. They bought it immediately, got it graded, and then sold it. Now, at that time, it would be around the summertime, or around May-ish to June-ish, and at that time, if let's say now this doesn't really follow with the market, but let's say for some reason that card started going up because people started to find an interest in it. That means that not only did the person who bought it after you buy it for less, they could also, because the market was still going up, sold it for more. So overall, they made profit on both ends. Anyway,